Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of the UrbanCast Let's Talk Show. I'm your host and my co-host Lotto, always talking about sports, is here with us tonight. Before we begin, we want to recognize support that helps make these conversations possible. The Let's Talk Show and our Sinlaw GOAT coverage of local sports is sponsored and powered by our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, proudly supporting our communities and student athletes. Tonight, we are talking about a big moment for Central Louisiana and specifically Alexandria. The Peabody Warhorses are headed to the LHSAA State Championship after defeating Washington-Marion 52-48 last night in the state semifinals at Burton Coliseum down in Lake Charles. Joining us tonight from Lake Charles is Peabody head coach Charles Smith, legendary figure in Louisiana high school basketball and member of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. That honor places him among the greatest figures in the history of the game, alongside legends such as Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Julius Dr. J. Irvin, and Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan. Coach Smith program continues to represent Alexandria and Central Louisiana on the biggest stage in the country and in Louisiana in high school basketball. Coach Smith, welcome to the show and congratulations on advancing to the state championship.
Thank you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
All right. And to our supporters watching tonight, drop your questions in the comments and we might bring them into the conversation. I'll be monitoring them over here. So just drop them right over there in the comments. Damon, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's always an honor and pleasure to be in presence of legends. So I tell Coach Smith that all the time behind the scenes. I get to tell my friends I got a Hall of Fame friend. And I ain't playing when I say that. So,
Coach, that's why he gets mad when I'm interviewing you and he ain't here because he can't go back and tell his folks that I'm sitting there talking to his Naismith.
That's it.
Stuff. Coach, that was a tough semifinal battle against Washington-Marion. What stood out most about your team's performance that night? Because I tell you what, I was on P's and Q's over here, man.
Well, you can imagine how I was feeling.
No, I saw you on your knee, man. I was like, okay, he getting down on his knees down there.
Yeah, but over my career, which has expanded 40 years, Washington-Marion and Peabody has always matched up in the playoffs. Either in the second, third, fourth, but usually in the championship round. And I'm proud to say that Peabody has come out victorious, more than, losing. But last night was no different. I knew it was going to be a battle. Washington-Marion is a senior team. They had 4 seniors that have been in the program for 3-4 years. And I knew they was going to give their best shot because that's their last chance of winning a state championship. And us being a young team, when I say young team, I'm featuring 2 freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and 2 seniors. So we are a young team and only 1 senior played last year along with 1 sophomore. So we are, for the past 2 years, been in a rebuilding mode.
Coach, you never rebuilding. But you mentioned those young players. Them young players showed a lot of composure late in that game last night. What did you see from them in those final minutes?
Well, they are special. Corey Blake, I've been coaching a long time, and I have never coached a freshman with the poise and the understanding that he has for the game, and a leader. It's, you know, this guy was in the 8th grade last year, so he's coming in here this year, you know, being a leader for this young team. So I'm just amazed at his talent.
Totally amazing. The freshman that the coach said a freshman is a leader. That's amazing.
Correct. That's correct. He's a point guard. That's correct.
Yeah, defense has always been one of your hallmarks, there, Coach. You know, and part of the Peabody basketball program. How important was that defense effort in the scoring that 52-48 win last night?
Well, you know, since I've been coaching, we've always started with defense. You know, defense is the key ingredients for winning championships at all levels. And guys come to play basketball to score. You know, they believe they got the best shot in the world. Everybody thinks they're Steph Curry. So, but they believe that they can score the ball. So if I can get them to buy into defense, then, you know, that takes care of a lot of the preparation that we have to do for basketball.
Coach, you kind of spoke on it, saying, you know, that you got a young team and you got a freshman point guard. Point guard, for you people who don't know, that's quarterback.
Correct.
He got to know what everybody on the court doing. That means his team and the other team. So you kind of mentioned, you know, what make this team special, but what some other traits that make this group special did you see early in the season that they had this potential to be in a state championship game?
Well, the 3rd game of the season, we played a team out of Dallas, Texas, which is a perennial power in Texas, Dallas Kimball. And in that game, you know, we had to do a lot of growing up. They were a seasoned team. They had 2 boys who signed Division I scholarships. And I saw that night the potential for this team, although we struggled. We did struggle, but as a coach, I was able to evaluate the talent that we had. And those guys, they played hard and they fought all the way to the finish, even though we lost the game. And I saw then that they were willing to work. They were able to put the time in. They were willing to put the time in order for this team to grow. And we have grown over the course of this year. We played some tough games on the road. We played Ruston on the road in Ruston at a packed house. We went to Faraday, a packed gym up there, and we were able to win, and we won convincingly. So that you know, let me know and that we had a potential to make a run at a state championship.
I hope my mama and my uncles ain't watching tonight. You said Faraday. That's why I spent a lot of summers in Faraday, Louisiana. They're gonna be mad about that.
Yeah, that's right. They're down here too. Ruston High School is down here playing for a state championship as well as Faraday. And we have other good teams in the state.
So Coach, you know, specifically, what growth have you seen from? I know you talked about them coming up and becoming leaders, but what specific growth have you seen from this team between the start of the season and now? Well,
number one, they were willing to put the work in. Worked hard every day. Every day they show up for practice. They have very good work ethics, and we have grown as a family. And now, you know, they're picking each other up on the court. If one missed an assignment, the other picks them up. Last night, one of my seniors struggled, Malachi Anderson, but the other guy stepped in. You know, Red, we call him Red. He came off the bench. And he did a tremendous job for us, 5 points, I think, or 7 rebounds off the bench. So, and then Blake Anderson came in. So, I mean, these guys are growing as a family. And if one falls down, the other picks them up.
And that's kind of, again, to piggyback off what you said, you know, we preach no I in team. But last night you had to have, you mentioned you had a senior struggles. So what players, you know, to kind of get them a little shine, even though it's a team sport, what players stepped up for you last night, Coach?
And that's a good question. You know, we started off the game, and you know, my point guard, he's in here this year. This is his first year. He came to me as a freshman. His mother moved to Texas, and they moved back to Louisiana. Trace Ward. I mean, he started off the game on fire, and we were able to take a lead in the first half because of his play. And he got a little early foul trouble, so I had to come in with Eddie. Eddie came in off the bench, and he gave us the spark plug on defense and offense, and also on the boards rebounding. So we've done this all year. No one has been the leading scorer every game. My freshman, Blake, one night he scored 30 points. Sword one night had 25 points. Malachi Anderson, 20 points. So at different times during the year, each one of these guys have stepped up, and did what's necessary for us to win.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's a team sport. It takes a team.
Correct.
Yep. Now the focus turned to the state championship game, Coach, against Northside. What stands out about that team?
Well, Northside, we played them twice this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised that my former player, Troy Jones, has gotten his team, to the finals. And it surprised me in that he's a first-year coach with a young team, and he was able to pull them together. And I watched him the other day against Madison Prep, which is a perennial powerhouse here in Louisiana. Coach Jones, he does a great job. And T-Roy had those guys ready. They were prepared. And they fought hard throughout the game, and they were able to turn the tide and win the game.
And that's, as a sports fan, that's what kind of make this matchup unique. The fact that T-Roy is one of your former players, a Peabody graduate who won state championships under your leadership.
Correct.
So what does that say about the legacy of the program to you, to see your former players now bringing teams to the championship level and doing it in a way, like you said, unexpected? Right.
As a coach, I'm extremely proud, and I feel that to all of my guys, I'm like a dad to them. I try to give them advice on and off the court. And I tell them, number one, there is life after basketball. So don't put all of your eggs in one basket, meaning that don't put all your hopes and dreams in basketball, because I've only had, over my career, which has been very successful, only 2 NBA players. But I've been able to get 80+ scholarships for these young men and move them to a different situation. And Troy Jones is one of them. I was thinking the other day, right now I have 4 of my former players that are head coaches. And Troy is in his first year. And I told him I was jealous because it took me 5 years to get my team to the playoffs. And he's in the championship game in his first year as a head coach. And it makes me just like a proud father. I'm extremely proud. And I watched him and coach the other day, and he had on his suit and everything. And at halftime, all he had on was his shirt and tie. And his players bought into that, and I thought that was the determining factor in him winning that game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, Coach, what does it mean to you personally to see someone who came through this program that you have right over here at Peabody?
Go ahead.
Won championships here and is now coaching. I know I want you to go a little deeper with it, because I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Brasher the other evening, and and we've Damon and I have talked to your players when you were getting the Naismith Award and things of that nature. So can you expound on that a little bit more from a personal standpoint?
Well, I've approached the game of basketball just like when I was growing up. I grew up in a very humble situation, and I'm the product of the community. I had, one of the men in my community, he put together a baseball team with his own money and resources. He built a baseball diamond for us to play baseball on. Mm-hmm. And so here was the community helping to raise the children in the community. And of course, that's rubbed off on me. And I think that I can make a difference in our community. So I take all guys that come to me and I work extremely hard with them. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of them fall through the cracks, and some of them, they don't fully buy in to what I'm trying to teach them. And of course, you can't win them all, but I think I have like a 90% success rate. And T. Roy Jones is one of those. I was able to, get him through high school, get him a high school diploma. I got him into junior college. He got his associate degree. And then he went on to Texas A&M Kingsville, and he got his bachelor's degree. And it just makes you feel good as a coach that you're not just concerned about them between the four lines on a basketball court. You're trying to help them and help them become productive members of society.
And that's, Jack, that's something that I always say, it's bigger than the game when you're coaching and the community. I didn't play basketball on a high school level, but I went to the gym every day.
Yeah.
And that kept me out of trouble. So
right.
It's important for the community aspect. But, this is a full circle moment for you, Coach. You've been coaching over 40 years. And so from what you said, from that father figure aspect, basically your son is on the other side of the court.
Correct.
What's that moment? I know right now you're in your coach mode, but is that going to be emotional for you to look across that side? Even though you already coached against him twice this year, and y'all beat him twice. To see him at the highest possible potential that he can be in his current position. And I can't. I'm sorry, son. My intention ain't let you to have it. What's that feeling gonna be like for you when that moment and that realization hits you? Is it gonna take you a couple minutes, or we'll talk after the game?
Well, it's going to be emotional, ain't no doubt about that. Seeing a young man that I coached for 4 years, won 2 state championships, and now we're after the same prize, highest prize in Louisiana sports, and that's the state championship. So, like I said, I'm just hoping I don't get teary-eyed, but I'm extremely proud of him, and it's going to be an honor for me to be able to coach against one of my former players.
I told Jack, I sent Jack a reference. I sent him Nick Saban versus his former assistant. And I said, he shake all their hand before the game, but he 28-3 against them. So I'm sorry today. I'm sorry. But, what does it mean for you? Peabody has had, I'll say, the most respected basketball program. And the reason I say that, because they have a Hall of Fame. They have a Naismith basketball Hall of Fame coach. And from what I researched, there's only 6 high school coaches in the Naismith Hall of Fame. So that means you leading the most successful program in the state of Louisiana. What does it mean for you to have another opportunity for a championship and add on to not only your legacy, but the legacy of Peabody basketball?
Well, it's a situation. And I've always considered Peabody as my family. I was born and raised north of Alexandria, a little town called Taylor Hill, which is out. Most people don't know about it. It's right above Boyce. I went to high school at an all-black school, A. Weathermark High School in Boyce, Louisiana. And I'm a product of that. And I'm just extremely proud, to be able to represent, this area. Can y'all give me a second? My battery is running low on my phone. Can y'all?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Let me get my card.
All right. For those of you guys who are out there, we're interviewing Coach Charles Smith from Peabody Magnet tonight, and we also want to interview Coach T-Roy Jones as well. You know, because the folk, one of our number one messages that we got today was we want to hear from T-Roy Jones. So if somebody listening to us out there, please let him know that it's going to be all friendly, all professional, because it's all about the kids. But we'd love to hear from him, and you know, the folk here in town would definitely love to hear from him as well. Coach Smith had to get a little power. He's been busy today, so he's putting his phone on a little power over there. So if y'all could just bear with us.
Okay, let me get resituated. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right.
No
problem. That's okay.
All right, how's that?
That's good.
That's good.
Okay. that's some technical difficulties.
Yeah. So, Coach, when preparing for a state title game, what is the biggest focus of the coach right now?
Well, the biggest focus is make sure my team is prepared mentally. You know, we've done everything we need to do to prepare them over 30. Right now, we're 20. I think we're 29-1. So we've done all the X's and the O's. So it just makes sure that they are mentally prepared for the game, that when we go in there, you know, that we do all the things that we've been coached upon doing and execute and play extremely hard as we can to win this championship.
As Coach, from your perspective, what does it mean for Alexandria and the entire Central Louisiana community to see Peabody, Marksville, the other schools you mentioned, Faraday, Ruston, that's not in Central Louisiana, but follow on UrbanCast? What does it mean to you to see those teams and those communities to have teams back on the state championship in the championship game?
Well, you know, when I started out in coaching, even as an assistant coach with Coach Ernest Bowman, and when I became the head coach in 1985, all the basketball was in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Shreveport. You know, those were the meccas for basketball, and because they had strong AAU programs. So what I did to match that, I started my own AAU program in the summertime, which gave my kids an opportunity because, you know, we don't have the resources or the finance to do that. Most of my guys don't. So I provided them an opportunity to play basketball during the summer. And of course, the other teams are also doing the same thing. And for Peabody, Alexandria Senior High, Marksville, and also Tioga, they lost out in the quarterfinals. Coach Tate Gill is doing a great job over at Tioga. And really, I'm a mentor to these guys. We talk all the time on the phone, you know, and they want to know what would I do in this situation. And I'm readily available at any time to help them, you know, whichever situation arrives. So, I mean, we just becoming a close-knit, you know, coaching family in Central Louisiana.
That's awesome for the kids. That's awesome for to have a mentor that's a Hall of Famer to be able to rely on when coaching circumstance and life circumstances. So that's amazing that you there for them in that fashion, Coach. It just speaks to who you are. Like I told Jack, I heard your interview after the game, and I was just listening to it like old radio, and it gave me chills because you never one time said nothing about yourself. You talked about the kids, and it was for the kids and the fans. You never said me, and you never say that. You know, you always talking about your kids, Peabody, the community. So, you know, you being a Hall of Famer, you deserve that for on the court and off the court. So I just want to, like the young folks say, I want to salute you for that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because I'm always trying to put Alexandria, Central Louisiana in a positive light. There's so much negativity out there. We all in this thing together. As I told you, growing up in my little rural neighborhood, it was like a village, where the elderly looked out for all the young people. If I went to one of my neighbor's house, I respected them as my parents. They were all like parents. And it takes a village to raise kids, and they did that. And I try to do the same thing. And I tell my guys, when we step on that basketball court, number one, you're representing your family. And your family is going to be there, and they're going to be proud that you're there. And then secondly, you're representing your community. You want to be something positive in your community. There's so much negativity out there now, because just like the whole world is just going negative. But, we got to pat these kids on the back. We got to praise them when they do good, and then when they fall down, we got to be there to pick them up. But when we pick them up, we got to give them instructions. We got to give them positive instructions on how to handle situations, not handle it in a violent way. Sit down and talk things out and try to figure things out. Try to do it, positive and not negative. I tell my students all the time, I say, look like we are in our language, we're moving from the English language to cursing language. Look like every word or every other word out of our mouth is a curse word. Come on, let's get back, to reality. And our kids, believe it or not, our kids are a product of the parents. They are a product of the parents. So whatever they see you do or see you, they're going to imitate that. They're going to imitate. I never forget when I first learned how to play basketball. I wanted to be like Bill Russell. I wanted to be like Bob Cousy or whatever. I wanted to imitate those guys. Now, what they did off the court, I don't know, because we didn't have social media back then, But I saw the positive things that they did through basketball.
It's very powerful that you said that, Coach, because I tell Jack I said, Jack, you got Marksville in the playoffs, you got Ash in the playoffs, you got Peabody in the playoffs, you got Plainview girls in the playoffs, Wilder. I said, what been happening? Ain't nothing been happening. Ain't nothing been happening. I say, that show you how important sports is.
Right.
And every opportunity they get, they should be funding sports, and because of the structure that it bring the kids' life instead of defunding it.
Correct.
It save a lot. It'll save a lot more people than them not having it. So
that's right.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If it's done in a positive and correct way, we got to be. I'll never forget Charles Barkley said back in the day that he's not a role model. He's just a basketball player. But that's not true. We all are role models. We all are role models. Like I tell my students, if you're the oldest child in the family, then you're going to set the mark for the ones that come behind you. If you're the parents of the family, you got to show them, how life is, how you react in certain situations, And I try to do everything in a positive. I always think about positive. When I get negative thoughts, I try to drown it in positive thoughts. If that makes any sense.
That makes great sense.
Lots of sense. Coach, tell before we get out of here, when the Warhorses walk into the Burton Coliseum down there in Lake Charles on Saturday at 2:00, I'm pretty sure y'all be going in there a little before then.
Correct.
What mindset do you want them to be carrying onto the floor?
When we walk in that stadium, I want them to have their chest out, and I want them to know, hey, I deserve to be here. I've worked hard all year to get to this position, and I'm not going to be denied. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to listen to my coaches. I'm going to reflect back on all the training that I've gone through, and I'm going to put all of that stuff together, and we're going to come out with a victory.
I hear you. Coach Smith, go ahead. Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
we appreciate every opportunity we get to be in your presence. We appreciate every opportunity we get to show the community yourself. You are undervalued and unappreciated in that community. Let me say that right here in a public setting, so everybody understand why I stand on that. But we appreciate you tonight for taking your time to join us, and congratulations on advancing to another state championship. To all our supporters watching tonight, thank you for continuing to support UrbanCast. Thank you for continuing to support the Let's Talk Show and Sinlaw Gold coverage of local sports that is sponsored and powered by our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, proudly supporting our community and our student athletes. And our partners, Saddler's Torn. We want to send out a prayer for Mr. Matthew over there at Saddler's, had a liver transplant. Long Product, Legendary Kung Fu and Tai Chi, United Wrestling Entertainment, Nader International Market, and the Threadhead Embroidery. And all the fans, everybody, we thank y'all for tuning in. We thank y'all for giving us the opportunity. And Coach, we thank you every time for allowing us to, again, like I said, be in the presence of a legend. Ain't too many people know people that at the highest possible level that they can be in what they chose to do. So thank you again, sir. And thank y'all, everybody.
Thank you so much.
All right. We hit that up right at 30 minutes, Coach. We know you got to go eat lunch or eat dinner or something like that. Anything else you want to say to the community before we get out of here?
No, I just want to say we play an early game on Saturday, so I'm encouraging all the fans to come out. I've always said that our fans are our sixth man, and they always show up and they show out. So I'm looking for all of our fans to be there Saturday for 2 o'clock. Make an early Saturday afternoon of it and get back home to Alexander before it get dark. But I've just enjoyed it, and I thank y'all for the invite, for being on your program. I hope that I've said something positive and in a way that helps our children and helps our community.
Okay, Coach.
That's who we do it for, Coach. So children in the community, that's one of our core values. That's why we do what we do. So to hear it coming from a Hall of Fame is just reaffirmation. So again, thank you for coming on. And if I could be there, I would. But I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna definitely be watching it online. And I'm sorry, T-Roy, I ain't gonna be rooting for you on this one, bro.
I'm gonna remain neutral over here, all right? All right.
Y'all be good.
All right. Coach, you have a great evening, sir.
Thank you.
All right. You just hang on in there. We're gonna end this stream.
Okay.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.